This is a very recent milestone that happened in my life, just very, very recently, in the most recently. And it triggered something that I never understood why people didn't understand until I experienced this. I visited an exhibition for one of my young mentees that I really love. And I saw one image that he had used of a muse who was in sheer agony. And I wasn't really sure how to read the picture. Fortunately for me, the muse happened to be in the space. So I sat down for a minute and I asked him questions about the pictures. But that particular picture was intriguing to me. So I asked him, why do you look like that? And he said, I was in a lot of pain. I had gone through a workout and I was completely shattered. I even thought my muscles were torn because I was in so much pain and I was really tired. I had finished my workout for the day. I had worked out, gone to the next level. But then my friend who was going to take the shot at the time, didn't even tell me he was going to take the shot, told me I should pick it again. And I was wondering why I should do that. But then he started to tell the story about how he picked the dumbbell. And as he was lifting the dumbbell, he realized that he was in so much pain. But there was something deep inside of him that continued to say he should do it. It was like he had gone past like the pain, that it was hurting him so bad, but he still did it. And it reflected on his face. And I was wondering, I mean, that picture has been on my heart for a while. But as soon as he finished talking to me, just for a few seconds, after we talked for a few minutes, and it struck a chord in me that I realized that there's a lot of times people don't appreciate the pain that becomes a masterpiece. And it happened in my own life that it got to a stage where I think I had gone past the pain threshold. And the only thing that was holding me was what was inside. But nobody seemed to understand me when I ever tried to explain to them that there's a threshold past your pain point, that now you stop using your physical strength, your physical ability, even your emotions are short, but there's something that keeps you holding on. And when the young muse told me this, it hit my heart, and it became a powerful milestone for me. And I realized that when it comes to art speaks a lot, but a lot of art pieces, and I share this a lot, that the broken pieces of, I don't know whether it's our soul, I don't even know what word to use, but they are broken pieces of our lives. Be whether you're a lady or a gentleman, a lot of people cannot express it. It's just the way they feel. And it becomes a serious broken piece. And you know, broken pieces have the ability to cut you so sharp. It has the ability to enter, part of your flesh. You walk past a broken piece of glass and you step on it, and your foot can be in bandage for a long time. And the broken pieces that forms art actually comes from the things we do in our lives, our relation. It's a state you go into where you pass. Not everybody gets there. I don't believe that everybody in life experiences it, because if everybody did, I'm sure a lot of people would have understood what I went through when I was going through so much pain. And now I'd passed the threshold, and everybody was wondering, how am I surviving? People ask me questions because it was pain after pain after pain in the journey of my life. And then it got to a stage, everybody asked me, how did you survive it? And I can never explain. I said, it was just something that happened until I met this young man who was a muse. And he said, lifting the dumbbell, I knew that every ligament was torn, like literally, I won't make it past this, but I kept going. And that was what was captured in that image. And for me, it's an image that tells me that every broken piece of our life, so you may be there's a real broken piece in your life, and nobody seems to understand you. Nobody seems to understand that pain. Even in work, you're sitting at work and there's broken pieces all around you. There's broken pieces in your relationships. There's broken pieces in your life. And it's not just about emotions. It goes past that. But a lot of times it doesn't make sense. But actually, it's those broken pieces that when they are put together in a frame, it actually ultimately becomes a masterpiece. And that young muse who was in so much agony, what came out was the most beautiful art that I've ever seen. I mean, what I call a masterpiece from this mentee of mine that I've fallen in love with. And I told him that I'm going to invest in that image. I'm going to keep it on my wall for every time I see it, because he did that for me to let me know that I am understood. It was my masterpiece, and I believe that everyone's life can come from broken pieces and become a masterpiece. All we have to do is decide to go past that pain point. Don't describe it, don't explain it, just survive it, and your life would also become a masterpiece.